Okay, gonna talk helmets today. The one here in front of you is the FXR that I bought this season, at the beginning of the season. Really good helmet, comfortable right out of the box, seems to be pretty good quality. Downsides, not a lot of venting and a large shell. One of the things that I particularly noticed when I bought it was this large chin bar. Comes down quite a ways, and I thought that might interfere by hitting my body armor, my chest protector, when I was tucking my head. Just ignore this stuff here. This is some GoPro crap stuck on there. But that turned out to not be a bad thing. So 2.5 weeks ago, out for a ride, had a crash. Crashed pretty hard, hooked a stump with the front end when I went off the trail just a wee bit. I was riding some single track and just didn't stay in the middle of the track and paid the price. Anyway, I went down hard, busted this visor all to pieces. This is a new visor. Don't want to buy too many of those at $37 by the time it gets here for a visor. That's pretty crap. Busted the visor and probably wrung the helmet reasonably good off the ground, though I didn't have any head injury or anything. Elbow was pretty beat up. But having crashed that helmet and how hot this helmet is, I was really looking for something different. And I may have used the crash as a bit of an excuse to buy this helmet. This is a Leatt GPX 5.5. It's as close as I've gotten to buying a premium helmet for off-road, and I think this probably falls into the premium category. If you haven't looked at this helmet, I really encourage you to look at it. It is super lightweight. This is a composite plastic, I guess. Has some really great features, namely, first and foremost, these huge air ports. Air vents, I guess. Like, this thing flows a lot of air and will keep your head pretty cool, a lot cooler than that one anyway. So intakes here, and the shell size. This is it is much smaller than the shell size of, say, this FXR. And that has to do with how they bond the interior foam with the shell itself. It's not inserted, it's bonded in there in some form or fashion. You'll have to go on YouTube and look at some professional YouTuber who talks to you about it. It has some other cool functions too. Built into the helmet is these little openings to let you put in your hydration. So you can run your hydration hose up to your face, which is something that I'm always challenged with, is drinking while I'm riding, because I'm always holding on to the handlebars like it's, end of life. And maybe that's why I get forearm burnt, but yeah, that'll help if I can drink more easily without having to take a hand off the bars while I'm banging through the woods. And I just throw this one up here. This is an old Thor helmet, and you know what? I really liked this helmet. It is not light, not by any stretch. It's quite heavy. It has taken a lot of abuse, and I probably should have replaced it long before I actually did. It's banged off of trees. You can see some scraped here where I went down on the side of my head, but it stood up well. And it's comfortable. It was comfortable right away. It's a cheap helmet, but I like it. It's a warm helmet, obviously, pretty much zero venting. However, there is a stark difference when you start stepping up to nicer quality helmets in terms of the build quality and things like venting, and that's why I got that helmet. Now, one thing I do notice is that the eye ports, so this one being the best, most open, you can see how far back it comes here to the side, so peripheral vision type stuff. Not that you're going to get a lot wearing goggles, but it is quite open, so it gives a feeling of openness. And this chin bar is quite long, which aesthetically I didn't know if I cared for, but having that chin bar out in front of you, not bad. Maybe you're not going to smash your teeth into it when you crash. Can't say that I ever have smashed my teeth into it. I have crashed. This one is quite close, and even more so than the FXR, which initially was kind of threw me off a little bit, especially when I tried to fit the goggles. Big fan of 100% goggles, but if you have these ones here and you leave the nose piece on, it's hard to put them in unless you tuck it and then drop it in which case, at that point, it's like it was made for the helmet. It just fits right in. So, something to think about. Anyway, Leatt 5.5, even the 4.5, and the differences that I can find on the 4.5 is that the 4.5 does not have these vents. It might be slightly heavier because I don't believe it's composite. Other than that, it has all the same functions, I guess, in terms of the water hydration system openings. The materials might be slightly different, is what I'm led to believe by YouTube. Other people have blogged about it. But I think it's probably going to be a good helmet. I've only ridden around the backyard, so I can't speak to how much it flows, but everyone else talks about how much it flows, and just looking at it and its claims, kind of think maybe it'll be all right. Okay, well, the only other helmet I could tell you about is this HJC. This is a cheap helmet, very comfortable helmet, and surprisingly a quiet helmet. Bought that one for riding on the BMW when Mrs. Canadian X and I took a trip, and we just wanted new helmets for that trip. Our other helmets were getting pretty old and not terribly comfortable. These were comfortable right out of the box. They are pretty quiet, not what I would call highly vented for sure, but you know what, they get by. And we ride them on the BMW anyway, which has a big fairing on the front, so it works quite well. Anyway, minor product review, take it for what it's worth, ask questions if you will, and I'll do my best to answer them.